Hello, my name's John James and I am writer and activist for male victims of female perpetrated domestic violence. Today I want to talk to you about a sensitive subject, a controversial subject. I want to talk to you about suicide. Have you been affected by suicide? Has any of your family been affected by suicide? I know I have. So, let's get talking about it. Welcome to From the Darkness. Hi. Today's subject, as I said in the intro, is suicide. Now, I don't know whether you've been affected by suicide, whether a member of your family has been affected by suicide directly, but it seems to be that everybody, doesn't matter whether you've been affected or not, everybody seems to have an opinion. My opinion may be, as I said again in the intro, a little controversial. I'm sure that people will be maybe annoyed at what I say, maybe even disgusted at what I say. Because, as I said, everybody seems to have an opinion. When it comes to suicide, by throwing yourself in front of a train, for instance, there's a huge gap between those who understand where the suicide victim is coming from and those who find the suicide victim selfish. And that is a huge bowl of contention. But before I launch into what I want to talk about today, then I suppose I should tell you a little bit about myself and why I feel I can have an opinion on suicide. In 1990, my grandma died of cancer, and it really affected my granddad. My granddad went crazy with grief, and I can't really say what went on because it involves other people, but it was really, really bad how he acted because of his grief. 2 years later, 1992, my granddad came to visit my mum and dad and said, I've come to visit to say goodbye because I'm going to kill myself. Now, he had threatened this before, and my dad was obviously reasonably angry because it was upsetting my mum. And my dad said, "You've got to leave. You're upsetting Jean, who's my mum, and you've got to leave." So he left. 7 o'clock the next morning, the police called at my mum's house, mum and dad's house, and they told my mum and dad that my granddad has driven his car to my grandma's grave, parked alongside my grandma's grave in the graveyard. He had put a picture on his dashboard, a picture that my granddad said he used to talk to and used to talk back. He'd put that on his dashboard, and he'd put a hose from his exhaust through his window, and he'd killed himself. Fast forward to 2017, and as most of you know out there, that I was in a very abusive relationship, messed up my head big time, very violent relationship, and when that relationship ended, the West Mercia police did not want to know, didn't care one way or the other. And it sent me in a downward spiral into depression, PTSD, self-harm, and not very successfully, because I didn't think it through, but I tried to commit suicide. Now, I did this by wrapping, if anybody's read the book, they'll know, wrapping a wire around my throat and pulling it tight, and I passed out. If I'd hung myself, it may have been more successful. Thank God it wasn't, and I survived to tell the tale. That is my credentials for talking about suicide today. Now, I have every sympathy for people who want to commit suicide. I know what a terrifying prospect that is. I know that how desperate you have to be if you want to commit suicide. How desperately you think nobody cares. You think that life isn't worth living. You aren't worth living. And you want to end it all. I completely understand. What I want to say today, excuse me, is why, doesn't matter how bad things get, why you should not commit suicide. When you end your own life, you are fulfilling in your mind what is the only way forward. I understand that, and I sympathise with that. However, when you commit suicide, you are not just affecting yourself. You are affecting your parents, your relatives, your friends, the people who find you even. It's not just you that you affect. Now, I feel that before you go forward with committing suicide, you have to investigate every avenue before you go down that final route of committing suicide. You have to investigate every way of getting through what you're going through. What you leave behind is people who are devastated at you killing yourself. They may never get over your death, and you owe it to them, to those people you're leaving behind. You owe it to yourself to like I say, go down every avenue before you go down that road of suicide. You need to talk to somebody. I beg you, if you're that low, before you get that low, but way before you get that low that you want to kill yourself, way before, you need to talk to somebody. Talk to your parents, talk to your partner, talk to your friends, talk to your GP. Some GPs are very, very good. GPs helped me massively when I was going through what I was going through. But you need to talk to somebody. Now, I was told by somebody who's been that far down that they've had suicidal thoughts, obviously not followed it through. But I was told by somebody that maybe the person who commits suicide, maybe the person who's going through all this doesn't want to worry the other person, doesn't want to worry their partner, doesn't want to worry their parents or friends or whatever. However, you may not want to worry them, but what are you doing to them when you commit suicide? You're leaving them with a devastation that could last a lifetime. So the fraction of the time that you are going to worry them when you're talking to them, that is nothing compared to a lifetime of anguish over your death. You owe it to everybody else that could help, and you owe it to yourself to get help, to talk to somebody. Antidepressants these days can work wonders. They don't work for everybody, that's true. But you need to try. Because at the end of the day, whatever you're going through, you will get over. I promise you. You will get over. I got over what I was going through by pure chance, by going to India and Nepal and finding a new way of living. That was fluke. But I tried. And you owe it to, you owe it to other people, but you owe it to yourself more than anything to try everything to get past this. You will get past this. Death is forever. You won't get past that. There's no recovering from death. You won't get past it. But you will get past whatever you're going through. And as I've said, you owe it to yourself more than anybody else, but you owe it to yourself to work your way through it and get from the darkness to the other side. Now, as I spoke about earlier, the people who throw themselves in front of a train, yes, I understand the mentality. I understand how you're not thinking straight at the time. But way before you get to that point, you need to talk to somebody. You need to start the ball rolling on your recovery, because not only will you devastate everybody who loves you, but you're devastating people who don't even know you. Eyewitnesses, the clean-up people, and especially the train driver. It's unbelievable the amount of people that you will affect. Now, am I saying you're selfish by doing it? People have said that. I don't believe that. I don't believe you're selfish, because I believe that your head's so messed up that you're not even thinking about other people. And I'm not putting other people before you. I'm really not putting other people before the people who commit suicide. I'm really not. What I am saying, before you even get to that point, before you even affect all those other people, you've got to put yourself first. And you're not putting yourself first by killing yourself. You're not putting anybody first by killing yourself. The biggest loser is you. Now, you may think, better death than all this rubbish. Well, like I've said earlier, you will go over it. You may not see any light whatsoever. You may not see the end of the path. But there is one. There is light there. You've just got to search for it. Now, at the end of this video, I will put a few helplines that you can get in touch with. And again, they may not help you. But you need to talk to somebody. If you're that low, you need to talk to somebody. Now, I'm sitting here preaching to you, and I didn't talk to anybody. Well, I talked to GPs. GPs really helped me. And they were awesome. really, really awesome. And I didn't really talk to many other people. I talked to maybe, a couple of people about how I was feeling in general, but the feeling that I had deep down inside, especially after my dad passed away, which was so devastating for me. I was suffering from PTSD, and my dad passed away later that year, and that really took me to a new level of hurting, a new level of depression. And I didn't really talk to anybody about that. But again, the light was there. I couldn't see it at the time, but it is there. So please, before you get anywhere near wanting to kill yourself, please talk to somebody. Because there are people out there who love you, and you may scare them a little bit if you say that you're so low you want to commit suicide, you're so low that you want to hurt yourself, and you may scare them a little bit, but that's nothing compared to the devastation that you leave them with if you do kill yourself. So I hope all this makes sense to you, and I don't know what your opinions are, but I would like to know your opinions. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Any thoughts that you have, comment your comment in the comments. So, I'm sorry it's been a bit dark this time, but it was something that had been on my mind for a while, and I wanted to share it with you guys. I hope you don't mind. So, until next time, take care, look after each other, and please talk to somebody if you're feeling low. Take care. Peace.